Find a career you love with Pickaway-Ross Adult Education. Skilled trades careers are in high demand with no signs of slowing down. Pickaway-Ross offers career training programs with expert instructors and hands-on learning tactics to create a variety of opportunities. Visit our website for more information.
We're with Jonathan Davis, Pickaway-Ross Career Technology Center. What are we going to do today?
Welcome. We're going to take a tour of our almost completed new construction. Excited to show it to you.
Let's go.
So let's start by going back into the main entrance. This is not the student entrance. This is the main entrance that most people are familiar with, especially if you've come on our main campus. You used to come in and there was basically wide open into the building. What you see here is we are building a brand new secure vestibule entrance. There will be casework here where our receptionist will meet you, whether you're coming for a high school student, for adult education programming, which happens here in the evening. As folks come in, you're going to be able to get where you need to go. If you turn just a little bit here, Dan, you're also going to be able to see what will become, and I'm going to go stand where Miss Tammy will be sitting. This will be where our secondary or high school receptionist will be right here, our administrative assistant. So that door will be a door into the high school admin, guidance, and job placement suite, and I'll show you that here in a minute. But the other new exciting regional feature that we have is to my left, to Dan's right, is our new school-based health clinic in partnership with Nationwide Children's and Adena Health Systems. Students come and need to see either our nurse or a nurse practitioner from Adena. They can come here, as well as we will be opening hours for the community to do that as well. So we are going to sneak through the clinic side where we've created their own waiting room space. Again, our students need to see Nurse Nicole for medication, Band-Aids, those kinds of things. We do have bumps every once in a while here at the Career Center. They will come in here. Miss Tammy will put them in the waiting area, and then they will come through this area. And I'm really excited to show everybody this. This will be all casework where our school nurse will be opening into what looks like essentially a small urgent care area. On the right side here, you're going to see 3 exam rooms. They're identical. They will have what looks like a traditional urgent care exam room setting where there will be the table for the patient. There will be the casework with plumbing, and then a couple of seats here. Again, the idea here being if Nurse Nicole from Pickaway-Ross just needs to help triage a student, she can take care of it, she will. But as you move on back, the nurse practitioner from Adena will be stationed in the back, and if it's something where you need more care, Adena will be here to support that. We've also built in here, and you can see actually the flooring has gone in here. A brand new larger restroom space. You never know what you might run into in a clinic setting, so we want to make sure we're appropriately set up for that. And then like I mentioned, the back area will be set up for our nurse practitioner partner from Adena Health, as well as an additional exam room space if we happen to need that. We're going to utilize this for students who are going on job placement that might need OC Health, maybe need blood taken, any of that kind of stuff. That will happen here as well, so we're really, really excited. All right, I'm going to wind you back. Let's go back through the front. It's going to be the easiest way.
I like how you said that there's occasional bumps and bruises and things. I mean, in a place where you're going to be building things with carpentry, saws,
yes, that's correct.
Welding, these things happen.
We say a lot of prayers every day, and we're very blessed. So one of the other things we tried to do with this office suite is combine services. So as we move through here, what students will recognize and should be a big benefit to them is this office suite is set up for our administrators. We'll have a new large-scale lobby here because we put a lot more offices or a lot more people in here than was previously. But the thing I'm really thrilled about when we were able to create new space here is, again, our admins here, we brought our guidance counselors and our Rockstar job placement coordinators Jeff Metzler and Alan Coker into this office suite. So if students need any type of service outside of the healthcare clinic, they will come here. We will have essentially an admin assistant here as well as one in the front. Student comes up and says, hey, I'm looking to get a job, I need some help, we'll have that. Student needs help with graduation, we'll have our guidance counselors. Obviously our admin will be up here. So it's kind of a one-stop shop for families and students as opposed to the 3 offices that we used to have throughout the building. So this is, you'll have our Janet Barrows, who is our recruiting, as well as numerous other things. Our off-campus coordinator, which is Frankie Stevens, who works with all of our 30 off-campus supervisors. And then here we'll have our guidance suite. So as we wind out this door, Dan, students will have essentially the ability in the building. We showed you that vestibuled secure entrance. Students will not have to go back out front. They now can slide in this side door and be able to get all the help they need, even if they need to go to the clinic. Families will be able to come in that vestibuled entrance, so it allows us to secure paths for students to be in the building and get the help they need. So, all right.
A lot of people working on this. They've seen in your back, Summit Construction.
Yes.
Obviously, they're the ones contracted to do this.
They are.
They've been pretty easy to work with.
They have been wonderful to work with. They have been Andy Weller as our site superintendent has been a godsend. MCS, Kyle Urig, Mike Mendenhall, our local partners who are our construction managers have been a blessing. We are currently, and my treasurer may not be thrilled I say this, but we're under budget at the moment. We are a few weeks away from essentially needing to turn over the keys to get everybody back in the building and situated. But students don't start until not the week after the fair, the week after that. So we have an additional week that some of our partners don't have. But Tony Shore is the architect on this project, and I've been thrilled with the entire team. Yeah.
About the only people that aren't happy are your custodians, right?
This is correct. We have the best custodians in Ross County. I'm going to owe them a lot of pizza, and they will get this place ready, I have no doubt, but it will be maybe in the 11th hour when school starts, but when you're doing a HVAC project as well, so as you're walking through the building, you see a lot of ceiling tiles down. And one of the things I don't think most folks recognize is we have this expansion, which I'm going to show you here in a moment, but at the same time, we're doing about a $4 million HVAC upgrade. Those things aren't cheap and are not, they are somewhat invasive. So we just decided to do it at the same time. And so everything is kind of getting pulled down and put back together, but the HVAC part of this should be done in the next 2 weeks.
Anyone on these work teams, graduates of Pickaway-Ross?
You have no idea, Dan. I walked through here and I had an administrator, you know, Lisa Corcorandetti was walking through here a couple weeks ago, and she said, I kind of feel like school's still in session, because many of the partners on this project, Accurate Heating and Cooling is here, ACP is one of our big partners. They have hired tens of our students in the last couple years. Many students who just graduated this past year are here on this project. A number of students who've graduated in the last 3 to 5 years. So it's been really, really neat to see students who got their training here, we got them job placed, and then ironically they end back at Pickaway-Ross where they're doing work.
That has to be extra special for them, having a little closer
Yes.
feel to a construction position.
I think being able to
project.
say I went to school there and now I've had a hand in building or renovating for them is special. What we're coming upon now is a new space that we added funding for to support our staff. So this used to be where our commercial carpentry classroom was. You're going to get to see why their classroom is pretty unique here in a minute and why they didn't need this. But we decided that we have the best staff, we think, in Ohio, and so we wanted to create a unique lounge space for them. So we've added a couple offices. We do adult ed training here. They needed some office space here, but we created a new staff restroom space. And one of the reasons we did that was because we have so many students here, we needed more student restrooms, but then we created a new staff lounge, which you're walking into now. This will be an area that will have, lounge type seating, cafeteria style seating, as well as casework. It's where we will have our mailboxes for staff, as well as our copy machines. And right in here will be the kitchen setup. We had a small lounge space for the staff in the front previously that was probably about a quarter of this size. This will allow our staff a central area in the building that they can call their own, that they can rest and relax. Not that they have a lot of time to do that, but we wanted to create something special for that. And that's something that we paid for out of our funds that didn't come through the grant from the state. Like I mentioned, female restrooms for staff. On the other side is male restrooms.
It's the only time we'll be allowed to do this with a camera. So, at least until it's finished.
Until it's finished, that's right. That's right. All right.
Now we're going into an area that we were this past spring, right?
Yeah, so you've already mentioned our custodians. The amazing thing is this hallway about a week and a half ago was 3 times as packed as it is now. We have started to put some of the spaces back together. So most students know this as the T&I hallway. It's where all of our trades labs are. As part of our construction grant that we were awarded $8 million for, we also asked for funding to renovate some of our spaces. So the first space I'm going to show you as we walk in here, and in fact there's the teacher right there, he's being sneaky. Hey, you're on camera. This is Aaron McManus, our commercial carpentry rock star teacher, he's being sneaky. Aaron, this used to be his classroom. This was commercial carpentry. And Dan, as you pan, what you're going to notice here is this is the new robotics and manufacturing, our Ramtech classroom. So Aaron has a brand new space for him and his students. What we are doing here is we renovated this entire space. We opened it up to create more of a larger space for Ramtech. Ramtech used to be at Industrial Drive, small space. We brought him out here and put him in what probably felt like a closet for a hot minute. But we all know the manufacturing space is booming, looking for workers like this, and our enrollment in this program is through the roof. We created a new space for them. So,
speak loudly. How well do you like it now?
Oh, it's nice. It's going to be great for our students. It'll be great.
Dan hasn't been in your classroom yet.
Okay.
That is the Taj Mahal. That's where we're going.
Okay.
But Aaron is one of the best in the business. He literally is. Dan even asked, how many of our students, or probably your students, are working on this job? I've walked.
Several.
Yeah.
Right now there's several. Yeah, I was up at the apprenticeship school last couple of weeks, and so different guys were coming in. They were saying, I saw some of your students down there. Nice.
Yeah, that's all due to Aaron.
Thank you. Proud Papa.
Yeah, yes, he is. So we'll keep moving.
I thought he was joking about being on camera.
No, listen, Aaron, I don't mess around with any of that.
It's a live tour.
Yeah. So our students, we're walking into our electrical lab. This is a lab that just got, I'm going to call it a touch-up. And remember, our electrical students know this ends up getting built to be their workstation, so that ends up over there. But there used to be a wall here. There used to be a huge water fountain right here, and space in here was very, very limited. So what we did was we cleared all that out. We redid the flooring. We repainted the entire space. We moved the lockers, and we created more of an open concept for our electrical students so that they could work a little more freely.
And I will tell you, there's a fresh lumber smell here as well. Obviously, these are walls that are going to be
That is
placed.
correct. Yeah, our students put those up at the beginning, and then these are the workstations they use throughout the program. And this will essentially almost double the space they can utilize. Their classroom is just to the right of where we are. And just a minor touch-up creates a whole new bunch of opportunities for students in this particular lab. Job placement out of this lab is at the end of the junior year is almost 100%. It is, there is no issue for us finding employment and good opportunities for our electrical students.
Even have a traffic light.
Yeah.
How many classes have a traffic light?
Welcome to Pickaway-Ross. So we are walking into what was our construction technologies lab. This lab has been utilized for a number of different programs over the years. Construction technologies is a program that I define as multi-tool, meaning students get they get a little bit of plumbing, a little bit of electrical, a little bit of residential housing, that kind of, but it's a very small space for that program. And so you're going to see their new lab in a minute. This lab, and one of the reasons we acquired the state grant, is because this lab will give us the ability to start new programming and add more students in pathways that we don't currently have. Couple ideas: high school heating and cooling. We do not have a high school HVAC program. We would really like to consider a high school fire program. We have secondary fire, we do not have high school fire. And then really anything in the plumbing realm, which could go with HVAC. That's not something we currently have, and we'd really like to explore that. So this lab is getting a fresh coat of everything so that we can add new programming in here. Let's walk how students are going to walk it. So essentially, our students and alumni know they walk this T&I hallway, they get to the back labs, and it's our transportation programs. Over the course of the summer, our maintenance and custodial team has spent a lot of time painting, refreshing these labs. We changed a little bit of our color scheme, and so they've been updating paint just to match what the new building will look like. All of our new furniture is also here. We saw that when we walked through the commons area, and this will be set up in the next 7 to 10 days. But essentially what we did in this new construction is we built an entire new hallway. So students remember again this, our old vet assisting classrooms were here. How you guys? We created a new hallway, which you just walked into, a very large hallway.
There was no concrete on the floor when we were here last time. It was all dirt.
No, this is, a lot of work has been done, a lot of the dry fall has been done to the ceiling, as well as lighting. So as students come through here, the first lab that they'll walk into is that construction technologies lab that we just left. I think you'd agree they got a decently new space.
And plenty of lighting.
A lot of lighting, and if you know Pickaway-Ross, you know there's not a lot of lighting in this building, and that's one thing we were really looking for. So this lab has, and you'll see this in the commercial carpentry lab, we built a nice mezzanine area for storage, but in a lot of these labs, they also use training systems that we also can utilize in adult ed training. So we'll go up on the mezzanine, you'll be able to see there's a large space that we could actually do training systems up top. So essentially what you're looking at here is office for staff. Restrooms are in the back. All of our labs have a restroom in them. Student lockers will be here. You'll be able to see into, as they're building out, the tool storage areas, which are very important to what we do here. And then you'll walk into their own classroom. Students will be excited to know that even though most of our labs, big, large lab areas are not air conditioned, the classrooms are air conditioned. So at least you get a lot of sunlight, which is great. You can walk into your classroom, and so they're finishing up patching and painting, and these spaces are moving along really, really quickly.
Yeah, this is probably a 30 by 40
Yes.
room.
Yeah, this is intended to accommodate about 25 students, and it's much bigger than most of what they had previously. So we'll make our way up the mezzanine. You can never have enough storage. This gives us plenty of storage area, but like I said, these spaces, we use every nook and cranny in Career Tech. This will give us the ability to even put some spaces up here for specific skills that students want to work on, training spaces. So our instructors will work with their students on what that looks like when students come back. Our instructor in this classroom is Seth Kellenberger. He is one of the most unique and awesome teachers we have here. He does, like I said, construction technologies is a mixture of all kinds of different carpentry and construction programming. So as students come in, this program is full. They're going to get a lot of residential home building kind of stuff, electrical, a little bit of plumbing. They go out and do a ton of community service hours. This is a blast of a lab to see during the school day.
There you see the whole floor space from the mezzanine area, plus it elbows over to the other side.
Yes. So I'm going to actually take you through the top because I want you to see this lab space from the top first. When we wrote our application to the governor's office for this money, we focused on construction type programs because of the growth in projects across the state of Ohio.
Oh, wow.
These students are being placed and they're built, as you indicated, they're building this space for us. They're working at Intel, they're working everywhere in commercial construction. As a Zane Trace alum, I said we could play the Zane Trace Unioda game here this year. This lab is big.
So you're thinking about starting the first Pickaway-Ross Career Technology Center basketball?
I think so. I actually think this is our largest space. If we wanted to have student meetings with it, we would have a better chance of getting our students in here than in the Commons probably. I'd have to ask Mr. McManus if that was okay.
I was thinking as we were walking down the hallway, we were making that way for the groundbreaking when Lieutenant Governor
Yes.
Lieutenant Governor John Houston was here.
Yes.
It was just so cool to see this all starting to come together.
It is. And we've been in touch with even Senator Husted's office recently about our groundbreaking, which will be August the 23rd at 10 a.m. Everyone's invited, and they want to make sure they're here because we're one of the first projects from this grant money that will be completed. So you can look out, you see a lot of the materials Mr. McManus will work on with his students throughout the year. A grill as well. Come to Pickaway-Ross, we'll feed you. That's something we do. Classroom is very similar to what we saw in Mr. Kellenberger's lab as well. The great thing about these labs now is as we walk back out, you'll be able to see in these hallways our electrical lab is right there. So now students, and they were across the hall previously, but because of the larger space, now we can do dual program training together with students that we couldn't really do before. And that was one of the big interests we had. Build a space where I can bring my electrical kids over, I can bring my welding kids over, and vice versa, so that they're getting multi-trained. So we're going to exit the north end of the hallway here. I'll just go out and show you the exterior of the building. The only space we cannot go in today is we call it our north building. It's where our veterinary assisting lab is. And there is such extensive work happening in there. Essentially, if you've ever engaged with our vet assisting lab, bring your cat, your dog, we do trimmings. Make sure you don't hit your head here, Dan. So our vet assisting lab, we had previously been doing work out of a small classroom area. Well, now we have partnerships with our local veterinarians. They come in, they do small procedures for animals. We're building a unique exam space for that. So because of all of that extensive work, we can't go through there today, but I will make sure we get in there. You're able to see the exterior of this building. We did a little bit of work to really honor the previous build from the early 1970s, but we also wanted to make it a little bit updated and unique to today. You see, look at these guys. You got I told you Dan would be here, and we get the big wigs.
Sorry, I was calling.
How you doing?
Huh?
Edit this.
Cut you out? Do you want to talk? Is Andy Weller talk?
No, I don't.
You want to? You've never had an issue talking. You want to say anything?
Kid, I'm seen and not heard.
Here's a microphone.
I'm good.
Hi, AJ.
Staying in the
Good, buddy. How are you?
Good. Has to be cool to see this starting to come together, though, I'm sure, after all the time you put into it, and the planning and everything.
Yep, that's fine.
Absolutely.
Andy is. Where'd you graduate from?
Circle.
Circleville grad.
Yeah.
Kyle's a Huntington grad.
Yeah, it is nice to see all of our partner districts and get something nice and new. It's a great project.
So beyond our students having the ability to work here, most of the people that are working or even running this program is Zane Trace grad. We're all Pickaway-Ross CTPD graduates. So
Local kids doing local stuff.
AJ's a Logan Elm grad. He helped. These guys helped build Logan Elm, which was a great reference for us when we were doing kind of checking to figure out which construction firms to utilize, and they've come through with flying colors. It's been great.
Of course, they're Logan Elm kids.
Thanks, guys. So, essentially, these last few weeks, everyone's probably going to be watching this and saying, "There's no way that's going to be done," and I have faith. Concrete work has begun, as you can see. We are redoing asphalt out here. We are going to wait. We were originally going to do all the new parking lot at the same time, but we really are considering that we may have the ability to do another small expansion for our healthcare programs. So we're just going to kind of wait to do the entire parking lot until we create a timeline for that if we're going to do it. But all of this will be done in the next week or two. What you saw today, you saw paint on the walls, you saw some flooring down. In the last 7 to 10 days, they've really ramped up crews here, and we feel really confident. We might be cleaning the desks off an hour before students show up, but we will be ready when kids are here on the 20th, which is our first day with students.
And we will have a follow-up when this is done, but we'll also be able to get into the vet.
We will,
portion.
absolutely. We'll get into the vet, and I think the vet will be a really unique, once you get to see what that looks like, I think every dog and cat in Ross County is going to be interested to probably come and hang out with our vet assisting students in Miss Hopkins.
And during an open house, we saw there were reptiles in there as well.
That is correct. We do not discriminate in that space, I can tell you that. But yes, and again, August 23rd, 10 a.m. It actually is our community day. We'll be doing a car show here. This is all on our website. But at the same time, we're going to be doing a ribbon cutting for this expansion and our school-based health clinic with Nationwide and Adina, and everyone is welcome to attend. We hope they do.
Partnerships working together.
That's correct. That's what we do.
Jonathan Davis, thank you for your tour.
Thank you, Dan. Appreciate you.